Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. Welcome back to another horror movie review. Today we're going to be continuing, though we're getting close. We're right at the end, second to last one. Getting close to finishing up the Saw franchise, and this review will be on the 9th entry in the series, which came out a few years ago. That being Spiral from the Book of Saw. This came in a 10-film collection. It's got all 10 Saw movies. This one, along with this one and Saw X, were like brand new watches to me. So, yeah, was really trying to avoid spoilers, which thank God I did. And here it is on the back here, along with the other ones. So, yeah, like I said, this and Saw X are going to be like brand new like movies to me. I've never seen them. So, overall, this movie exceeded my expectations. I heard mixed things about it, without any spoilers, of course. And all I knew was that it had Chris Rock, it had, what's his name? Samuel L. Jackson in here, had a few other people that you might know, and that it would be bringing it back to its roots, which I 100% agree with. And I was just blown away. While it's not the best in the franchise, it definitely was a huge step up from the previous few films, especially 3D and Jigsaw and just, you know, all those later sequels I didn't do as well. So, anyway, Spiral from the Book of Saw. What is it about? So, Spiral stars Chris Rock as the lead detective in this movie. And he is, his name is Zeke. And Zeke is a FBI detective. He's been promoted. His father has recently retired, Samuel L. Jackson, that's his father. And he is mistreated by all the cops. The cops do not like him because he turned in a scumbag cop, one of those generic cops that don't follow the law. They have their own laws. They're corrupt. He turned in a corrupt cop. And all the other cops in the building hate him for it. They despise him. They tell him to, fuck off and all that. And it's not treated very well. And of course, he despises all the cops in there. And we open up, before we get introduced to him, we're opened up with a brand new Saw trap. Now, the movie, it acknowledges the previous films, but John Kramer is absolutely not in this one besides like a photo. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's dead. He's not coming back. Jigsaw at least had him in there, but of course, the whole twist with that. So this one just completely acknowledges that he's dead, and like all these other films happened years ago. So yeah, we got a brand new Saw killer. We don't know who it is, aren't linked to him at all. And the opening trap was definitely a hard one to watch. A lot of these traps are hard to watch, if I got to be honest, but I'll get into that later. And of course, the guy doesn't make it out. He gets killed. So they come across a box left for Zeke, and the new Jigsaw is going after Zeke in his department. And Zeke has to figure out what is going on, who is behind this. Him along with his partner, William, I think is his name, or Charlie, whatever. William, Charlie, I can't remember. They got to hunt him down along with the other police department, even though they don't get along with him all that well. So, yeah. All hell breaks loose after that. They're trying to track him down and everything. So, anyway, Spiral is definitely bringing it back to its roots, the franchise, especially after the stuff that happened with Jigsaw and 3D, where it just became like this hunt them down, this and that. This feels a lot to me like Saw 2, if I got to be completely honest. You got a lot more with the FBI and just, detectives. I really did enjoy that aspect. I know Hoffman's pretty much gone and dead. But I did enjoy that aspect. I think Chris Rock does a pretty good job here with what he's given. I know, seen as a comedian, I know he's got some acting experience, and I know he's been in Grown Ups and was it Madagascar. He's been in there, but I know him a lot from comedy, but I do know him from Grown Ups. I grew up on those movies. Anyway, I think he's done fairly well with what he's given. I know he wrote in a few comedic routines. I did like some of the jokes. While some of them didn't land, of course, that's going to be with, most horror movies that try to add in humor. But these side characters this time, oh my gosh. I cannot tell you how much I hated these people. Like, I actually enjoyed seeing them get their comeuppance in a lot of the Saw traps, especially with some very corrupt people. I can't remember their names because it's been a hot minute since I watched it. I watched it a few days ago. I probably should have done my research before I recorded this. Oops, sorry. This is what you get for double uploading, Grayson. But anyway, Samuel L. Jackson's character, where he plays Zeke's father, when you get to the twist and everything's gone down, it felt to me like they threw away his character, and I don't really like the aspect what they did with some of his plot lines and how they tried to, get him and Zeke to interact. I didn't really enjoy that. Now, the part where they were in the apartment and, screwing around and everything, I thought that was funny, some of the lines, but just when you get to that whole subplot, it doesn't really land with me. But like I said, the twist, I kind of saw that coming from a mile away, if I got to be honest. Saw has been doing that with a lot of these movies. It's just, I don't know what it is, but every time they reveal who's behind the act and everything, it just doesn't land as well as it did with like the original Saw, where you saw John Kramer like get up and rise. That was pretty epic. But when you get into the later films like this and all the other ones, just you can kind of see where the twist is and you can predict who it's going to be. I did have a little bit harder time than I did with some of the previous movies, finding out who the apprentice was. Like I said, not going to spoil, trying to avoid spoilers. The kills in here, if you're in it for kills, you're going to love it. Practical effect work is great. The traps are great. One of them is really, really messed up and painful. Like, you have to either sever your spinal cord or get melted by hot wax. That was, like, ugh. I mean, you get either paralyzed from the neck down or you're getting melted in the face. Like, that was terrible. I hated watching that. Then there's another one with fingers, but I'm not going to spoil anything else. Another thing I didn't like was when they cut in and out of, flashbacks and everything. They did that, especially with the traps. Did not like that aspect. It didn't work with the previous movie. It didn't work with, honestly, it didn't work with Saw 4. No. Was it Saw 4? Gosh, no. Saw 2 landed pretty great. I did like that, but when you get into like Jigsaw and just all that, I didn't like the flashbacks, where you had the traps and everything. But anyway, like I said, great step up from the previous few entries. While it's not my favorite, it definitely would be in my top 5 if I am ranking. Well, when I do rank this, it's definitely going to be in my top 5 or at least top 6. So be looking for that ranking soon. Like I said, huge step up. Chris Rock, I think he did well with what he was given. Samuel L. Jackson, I liked most of his parts in here. And then just the corrupt people, I like seeing them get their comeuppance. And yeah, so that has been my review on Spiral from the Book of Saw. Great step up. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably get about a 7.5 to an 8. Like I said, there were some moments that dragged it down. It did get slower towards like the second half of the film, but if you're in it for gore, if you're in it for a better story, you'll enjoy that. If you're in it for like the police detective type thing, I think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, what is everyone's thoughts on Spiral from the Book of Saw? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Really love to hear your thoughts on it. Thank you guys for continuing watching these reviews. I really do appreciate it. Right towards the end, we got one more movie and then I'll do my ranking. So thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully this will be uploaded along with Jigsaw whenever I get around to uploading both of those. So yeah, Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless. Bye, everyone.